Hey everybody, it's Rob here, bringing you some more updates and hidden information that you might have missed in the recordings and the recent news here that we had. So first of all, we want to talk about the different launch dates for the Gauntlet and the actual season. So we already know a couple of things here. I summarized it here in the spreadsheet, like a rough timeline for ARPG enjoyers here. I'm going to link that in the description as well. There is a couple of things that you may have missed also about the construct mechanics and all kind of different things. So first of all, we have the new video here that's also going to be linked in the description, where we see the devs talk about when the Gauntlet is expected to be released. Maybe we're going to get more infos tomorrow in the dev stream, but listen to this.
The Gauntlet starts several weeks into the season of the construct.
So the Gauntlet
can compete in the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet starts several weeks into the season of the construct.
Several weeks, not one, not two, several. And the definition is more than two, but not many. So we're kind of expecting 3 to 4, maybe 5 weeks. But then a viewer of mine saw this in the video here as well. It's like it's some timestamp. But it basically says up here, and this might be copium, like we don't know if this is true, but it fits with the thing that he is saying here about the several weeks. And here's a screenshot here of week 4 into Season of the Construct, where the Solo Barbarian Leaderboard is active. So again, this might only be in the testing phase, but together with the hint that is given here in the video, I think it is pretty fair to assume that it's gonna be about 4 weeks after the season launches. So as you guys know, the season launches on Tuesday, January 23rd, and if we go 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, it would put us around February 20th for these leaderboards to be released. So maybe somewhere in this week here, I could expect it. That's also like several, it goes along well with the timing. And yeah, by that time, many players will have already gone. Like I'm gonna get into like my opinion on this topic in a little bit here. But yeah, so we can probably assume that it's gonna release somewhere here on the end of February. And you know what's also releasing the end of February, or 21st February, which is coincidentally like right around that same time is last Epoch, that many ARPG fans and players also would like to test out. So yeah, at least leaves a bit of a bitter taste that this leaderboard thing is like so much, or the Gauntlet thing is like so much delayed, especially because in my opinion, the marketing that they did, especially at BlizzCon, if you look at the panels again, whenever they were talking about Season 3, they pretty much only talked about, or mainly talked about the Gauntlet and the Leaderboard and about all the new amazing features coming in Season 3. But yeah, technically, they just said in Season 3. They did not say at the start of Season 3. But I think everybody, you know, took it for granted, basically, that this is happening like when the season launches. Just like basically all the other mechanics that we've been talking about, like launching with the season. So I don't know, I mean, people are a bit mixed about this delay. I think it's, for me, personally, it feels like a loss. It just doesn't feel good. I'm not pretty negative about it. Because yeah, most of the players, man, they will start the season on January 23rd, they will play for a bit and then they're gone. And also, what this means, like two options, right? Like either you have the leaderboards are just not ready, you know, like maybe there's still the bugs and exploits and the snapshots things going on, or they are purposefully delaying the content, you know, to keep more of a player base over a long period of time. So I could understand one, like the team is just not ready. There's been a lot of like bugs and snapshots, like all this kind of weird stuff. So maybe they just need more time. I think that would be like, to me, like a fair explanation, but like purposely delaying it just leaves like a bit taste for me personally and for a lot of people in my community as well. Because yeah, people just want to play like when the season comes out. I also think the player field is a lot more even and it's a lot more fair to get the leaderboards like when the season launches, because everybody just has a fresh start at this day, January 23rd. Everybody's starting from the same playing field. You know, everybody has a chance. Nobody knows what the OP builds are. Nobody knows what the broken and the builds are. Nobody knows what the bugs are yet. You know, but after nobody has any Uber Uniques yet. But you know, after 4 weeks of farming, if you're like a player that plays like 10 hours a day every day versus like a more casual player that maybe only has like 1 or 2 hours, like those people will not get all the Uber Uniques. They won't get like, you know, all the crazy gear. They won't have all the crazy builds. So I think it's like really unfair, because we've had actually experience here in Diablo 3 where, you know, the leaderboards, especially the first week in Diablo 3, are the most interesting because anybody has a chance to get on leaderboards. Nobody is there with perfect gear, with all the uber uniques, or with, in Diablo 3, with like very high paragon yet. It's a way more like, you know, fair system, or the chance of, like, let's say also like some of the more casual people getting on the leaderboards, like the top 1000, is way more likely because people didn't had a month, 4 weeks. You know, they don't have like 200 hours advantage over them because they've been playing 10 days every day for 4 weeks already. Like, it's day one, everybody's starting fresh. So I think that, like, purposeful, like, delaying it, man, that would just like feel bad for me. I don't know. That's at least my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know here in the chat or in the comments. But yeah, either way, it's probably several weeks delayed. So we're thinking like end of February, around the same time where last Epoch releases. There is a couple more things here that were also a bit hidden, and we have the end of Season of the Construct already. Also in the blog post, there is this image here that already states that Season 4 is ending April 26th. So we also add this to our timeline. This is a bit weird because it's a Friday. Like, maybe it's not the 100% final date, but we have been seeing this this date up here, Season 3 end, and that's also when the new season begins always. So we can already kind of estimate, and they haven't changed this as well, and people have been saying the same thing. So I think April 26th is like somewhat safe already, or at least around there is when Season 4 is ending and the next season is starting. And then, yeah, then we have the Vessel of Fated obviously coming at the end of the year. There was also some more news that I want to talk about. There was several interviews. So I find it like a bit weird. There was like this blog post that Blizzard did, but then there was like so much more information like sprinkled out between X on Twitter and, you know, like several interviews here. So the first thing, if you might have seen my recent video, they've revealed the Uber unique, or the Uber stone rune here that basically gives you the effect of a Shaco. We've already talked about that. I'm going to link the video in the description. But they also said in a previous interview that the follower cannot die. So even though it seems to have like somewhat of a health bar, like here, this is clearly a health bar to me. It seems to be able to like be unkillable, basically. Like, it can't die, your follower. I think this is a pretty good thing, so you don't have to pay attention to that. Like, would feel bad if the follower is dead, right? So I think that's pretty okay to have it. But yeah, then we also got some new information about the way your follower scales, and this was from a developer here on X. Woody replied to it as well. To clarify, your construct companion will scale 1-to-1 with your own stats. So your attack rating is its attack rating. Your crit is his crit. Your crit damage is his crit. So it scales with the character's power. So that's pretty cool, actually. And he also further explains that raw stats increasing or damage bonus affecting you. So for example, if you're playing like the standstill one or something, for example, like 1.3 multiplier whenever you're standing still. Inner Calm, it's called. I did not think about the name. Let me open the planner here real quick. So let's say you're rocking your Inner Calm. So I would guess that these kind of effects, like the generic multipliers, will affect its damage. For example, Grandfather would also affect its damage because it's increasing your critical strike damage. Accelerating, it's increasing your attack speed. That would also affect your pet. Yeah, and then something like, obviously, Limitless Rage would not affect it because it's a core skill, just to give you a few examples. So there's actually some pretty crazy scaling ideas then. And you can also go on Druid, and we don't know if this construct is considered a pet, right? But let's say we go on our Druid here, and you can look at sort of like the skill tree, and you can see the Druid and the Necromancer as well. And this would be cool news because pet builds have been very weak historically. They have like these multipliers where your companion, and they literally call it companion, sensual companion, right? They call it companion multiple times throughout the article. So maybe you know, Call of the Wild, which is giving you an extra 1.3 bonus, is affecting your companion and your construct damage. That would be pretty cool. There is a lot of like crazy mechanics as well here on the druid. I think there is 8 companion multipliers, and the necro has the same stuff here. Yeah, wolf companion. Okay, this is like werewolf companion, so this one probably won't work. But here, this one, gain additional companion. Your companion skills deal more damage and stuff. Like, we will have to see how like these multipliers will turn out. But it might work, man, and that might be a pretty big buff to like all the pet builds out there, and to like the somewhat, at least considered weaker classes like Necromancer and most druid builds, but the Shred Druid. So I could see that. But yeah, I just wanted to throw you these informations here. I'm also going to link that in the description because, yeah, there's just a lot of information that was not talked about in the blog post. So, yeah, I feel the biggest one was like where they revealed this Evernight Uber Unique here, Uber Stone. It's basically the power of an Uber Unique and going to give you +8 ranks to all skills. So this is the Evernight Stone. And the other stone here, the Genesis, I have no idea what it could be, man. Maybe it's like a Stone of Jordan or something. I think they talk about it here in the article a little bit. So here, the Evernight Tuning Stone will echo the power of the most popular Uber Unique, the Harlequin's Crest Shaco, will grant you 4 ranks to your skills. Like, granted for a limited amount of time, right? But yeah, we don't know what the last stone is gonna be. Both the unique tuning stones, Evernight and Genesis, work like the others and change how your spider robot skill works. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna link you this article as well, but there's just so much information that I feel that like players have to like find on like all different like corners of the internet. They have to literally like read different interviews. You have to be on X and know all that stuff, and you have to read the blog posts. So I just wanted to compile all this missing information here. I also have it in my spreadsheet under Season 3 news. So just here like some too long didn't read, just some basic summary of all the effects and everything. We also have the first screenshots here. This has also been partially just in the interviews. For example, here we have the auto defense. Like it's a legendary stone, for example, and this one seems to be a unique stone, and it's a support stone. So I think you can only equip this once because it's unique. Like else you could even get +8 ranks to all skills, right? Because you can support both of your skills with this stone. But maybe because it's unique, it doesn't work. We don't know yet. But either way, it's crazy. And I just wanted to, like, you know, compile all this information for you here in the sheet. So this is all the stuff we know so far. Probably later today in the dev stream, we will get to know more things here. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this overview, guys. I'm hyped for the season. I'll see you soon. GG. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.